Welcome back to the Athlete and Artist Show. I am the artist, Kyle Forge, alongside my co-host, professional hockey player, Zach Boychuk. Quite the week, Chucky. We had Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We have some major trades announced, some new jerseys, awards, the NHL Draft. Big week going on. What are your thoughts on Game 7 there?
Yeah, it was unreal. I think all of us Canadians are probably Albertans, but we're kind of happy that Edmonton didn't win. Guys like you, are big Flames fans, but I think most of Canada was disappointed with the finish. But a good hockey game at least to watch Game 7.
Yeah, it was a great game. And it really came down to the wire there too. Edmonton was putting on so much pressure there at the end, especially in like the last minute, last 30 seconds. Like I just saw this clip of Bob making a save, just laying on sprawled on the ice, just the edge of his blocker, just keeping the puck out of the crease.
Insane. Yeah, like I didn't even know that happened, and that clip just seems to be going like viral right now. So I wonder if that would have helped him like get some more votes for the MVP. But
Yeah,
obviously, Connor took that one down pretty easily.
yeah. What do you think about Connor being what is he? He's only the fourth player to win the Conn Smythe on the losing team or something like that. Second in like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
2000s.
yeah. It seemed like a pretty obvious choice. I mean, even though they ended up losing in Game 7, but like he had that many more points than the next Florida guy.
Yeah.
And Bobrovsky kind of blew up a little bit in the final series. So it was going to be either him or Barkov. I felt like, and um, with McDavid setting new records for assists and just being completely dominant, even with a abdominal injury. Now he has to get surgery. It's just
Yeah.
insane, like what he was able to do.
Yeah, I saw that. I wonder if he tore, like he must have tore something, or I saw Draisaitl was playing with a broken finger and at
Yeah,
least one other
broken
injury
rib
too.
too.
Broken rib too. Yeah, that's what the other one was. Like just
Yeah. It's
I
almost kind of like what happened with Florida last year. Like they ran into those injury problems with Kachuk and a couple other guys, and that happened to Edmonton this year. So we'll see if they can get back to the final next year and be fully healthy.
they've got to be pretty banged up too. Like I haven't seen anything come out about the Florida team, but they've got
Yeah,
had to had some injuries there too.
I saw the parade today. Like it's just pouring rain there right
Oh,
now
was
during the
it?
parade. But yeah, I haven't heard about any of the Panthers injuries.
That's not man. They were going hard right after that cup final. Just imagine being Florida winning at home. You're right there, Sunrise, close to Miami. Those boys must have just had a hell of a week.
Oh, I know, and like the parade's not till like pretty much a week later, so they've pretty much just been partying all week. I saw they took the Cup to like live in Miami, which is probably like a couple hours away, and they took the Cup into the ocean and everything, so they've definitely done it up pretty good.
Yeah, they went to what was it, Elbow Room? That was their hot spot there for
Oh
a bit
yeah,
after the post game party, or the day after morning party, I should say. I think they were there pretty early the next day.
yeah, that would be insane to show up there, all the fans lining up to drink out of the cup. He's like the Kachucks are like pouring it down like off the balcony. Just so much fun getting to celebrate like that for them.
I saw that Florida was kind of getting chirped for the turnout of the fans at Elbow Room. Like I think there were more than what people thought there was, but people were like, "Man, they don't even give a shit." Like if that was Edmonton, the entire city would have been outside the bar.
Oh yeah, the whole city would have been lined up. Wherever those
Hundred
guys go,
percent.
there'd just be like crowds and crowds. But yeah, it's tough. Like you would have liked to see, what the parade would have been like in good weather.
Yeah.
And it's not looking too hot down there right now. So we're not going to see that many Florida fans as we would Edmonton fans.
That's tough. I mean, it was a Tuesday morning too. I guess the day after that they were like the day after the cup. So I mean, I could see why people weren't
Yeah.
just turning up to Elbow Room at 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever. But I mean, the parade,
Yeah.
even if it was raining in Edmonton, those fans are going to be out there, rain or shine for sure.
Oh, it would have been nuts. Yeah. I would have liked to see it. I would have liked to see the cup back in Canada, but we
Yeah,
wait again.
just not in Edmonton.
Yeah.
What'd you think about McDavid not coming back out on the ice when he won the Conn Smythe? I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I see some people
Yeah,
were chirping him, but like I don't think Jagier did it, but I could see why he didn't. Like I'm not mad at it. I don't think it was like he was like snubbing the league or being disrespectful or anything. They were booing him anyway, so
yeah, exactly. For him, like, what are you gonna do? Go grab it and then just, set it down in your locker room? Like,
yeah.
it's a tough trophy to win when you're flying home and you have that in your cap, but you don't get the real one that you wanted, which is a Stanley Cup. So, I mean, I don't blame him. He was probably pretty upset, and why would he come out for that? Especially if it's not in Edmonton. Like, I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I saw how upset he looked after, I was kind of feeling bad for him. Like I don't not like McDavid. I like McDavid. He's obviously the greatest player in the world. I just hate the Oilers. But seeing him upset was I was like tugging on the heartstrings a little bit. It's like man, like it would be nice to see McDavid get a cup eventually.
Oh, I know. And now, like, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of years with their contract extensions and Draisaitl, and they're obviously going to have to change the team around a little bit. So
Again,
for him, like, obviously 9 or 10 years in the league now, and to not have a cup yet, like, it's got to be really tough on him.
it's crazy. He's been in the league for that long already. The last 10 years have
Yeah,
just flown by. It seems.
he's had good teams, and
Oh,
he's had chances to win. Um, just kind of ran into the wrong teams at the wrong time. Like last year, running into Vegas was just they were a wagon, and even years before when I think they made it to the was it Western Conference Final against Anaheim, like they couldn't find ways to get over the hump, and then this year they finally make to the finals, and he they weren't able to get the job done again, but. I'd like to see him get one eventually, and I think he will.
yeah, he deserves it. Obviously, I saw Draisaitl too. He was saying that he loves Edmonton and wants to be an Oiler, but he's just not sure of what the future is going to hold right now for his contract extension. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that situation. Because I mean, if they lose Draisaitl, you got to think they might lose McDavid too.
Yeah, I mean, he signed like a pretty team-friendly deal last time. I think only around like 8 mil a year, so that was kind of a steal of a contract. And
Yeah,
now is kind of his time to really get paid. And obviously, Edmonton's going to try and throw everything at him and make space. But if he doesn't want to be there and he leaves, I'm sure McDavid will leave right after him too.
do you think they try to package some ownership in the team for one of those guys, or like the old
I,
days?
yeah, I wonder if that'll ever be a thing. I mean, you don't see it happening anymore like the old days, but um, they're obviously a big part of why the fans are showing up to the game. So I honestly do think that would be a good thing to throw in if you could do it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that would be something they could do. McDavid for sure, I could see him doing it. I'm not sure if they would do it for Draisaitl. Maybe they'd try to get McDavid to not take as much of an increase, so they could give Draisaitl his raise and give McDavid his ownership. Who knows? But I mean,
Hmm.
McDavid's still
Yeah,
2 years out, and Draisaitl's only a year out, so they got to figure out Draisaitl first.
maybe they'll both come to Calgary. There's a lot of cap space here with the Flames.
Could you imagine? Man, the Flames fans could only hope at this point.
Oh
Um,
yeah, they need something. They need something to get excited about.
yeah, I mean, speaking of the Flames, like before the draft, before the awards, Markstrom getting traded.
Yeah, some
What's it?
huge trades. Manjapani, the bread
Yeah,
man.
Manji too. What do you think about what Calgary got for Markstrom?
I mean, they kind of played their hand out through the year. Like you knew that Markstrom was getting traded, and at that point, like they're just trying to go younger. They're trying to make space for Wolf, and
Yeah,
obviously, like Markstrom had a good year, and I guess that's all you could squeeze out for him. But it would have been nice to get more of like good roster players or something. But they're obviously doing a huge overhaul in Calgary, and seems like they're going super skill. Like all their D that they drafted this year are super skilled. They drafted Basha, who I train with, who is a really skilled guy. So they're going younger and they're going for more skill, I think.
Yeah, I wish they would have gotten like a first round draft pick this year instead of 2025. But that D man that Calgary drafted ninth. I was thinking that, man, first before we get to him, how Utah is just snagging Iginla from us. I was so
Oh,
mad.
that was tough. Tough, tough, tough. I think, well, everybody said that Calgary was trying pretty hard to trade down and get him, but it involved some roster players or something, and it just turned out
Uh,
to be too much. And I would have loved to see T. Ginla playing for the Flames.
yeah, I mean, who Jerome never got drafted by the Flames. He got drafted by Dallas and ended up in Calgary. So who knows? Maybe he'll end up in Calgary at some point. But
Yeah,
I'm not mad at Calgary getting Parekh either. He seems like a pretty nasty D man. He led the league in defenseman, I believe, in points. Um, Weird that he didn't make the World Junior team with how much he can score as a defenseman, but I've heard so many great things about this kid. He's a genius. He graduated high school at 15 years old. Wants to be a pilot. So I mean, it seems like he's basically just playing hockey for fun, but he just happens to be sick at it. Like,
yeah,
what are your
yeah,
thoughts on this
exactly.
kid?
Yeah, his dad's a doctor, and I think his mom's pretty smart too. It's just like he's got all the genes and love to see a skilled, smart guy come to the Flames. See how it pays off. Like, obviously, I think Calgary wants to be a more exciting team to watch, and they went for a more like offensive guy as opposed to like a two-way or a defensive guy. So it could be some fun, like high-scoring games in the future. I think in Calgary.
Yeah, for sure. And we need guys like that. We need people to get the crowd involved. We need people that are gonna score. I mean, whether they're on offense or defense, I think scoring depth in Calgary has been an issue. And especially now that we traded everybody away, so we need
Yeah,
guys
they
that can
better
come.
have a huge free agency. It sounds like they're going to make some splashes from what I'm hearing. Like to see like just throwing some money at a few guys for 2 or 3 year contracts and see if they can actually build like a solid team to make it more fun for the guys. Because obviously they got rid of a lot of people and they have a couple contracts that are a little bit sour long-term deals. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be just giving out 7 year deals, but go try a guy for three to 4 years and throw a little bit of money at him because there's lots of cap space.
Have you heard of them targeting anybody in particular, or just that they're going to be making some splashes? Imagine if Stamkos came to Calgary. I don't think it would happen, but imagine.
Yeah, obviously it's weird in Tampa right now. Like all the room that they cleared, I thought it was going to be for Stamkos, and now they traded for Gensel. So
Yeah.
it seems like Stamkos is definitely on the way out from there. Like I'm pretty surprised they offered him a pretty low term or low salary deal at 3 million a year or something for 8 years. But
Yeah.
like
Nuts.
he's also getting older. Like he's what 34 now, probably 33, 34, and
Yeah.
to offer a guy an 8 year deal, but only 3 million, like that's a slap in the face.
Yeah, especially when he's been your captain for this long, led you to back cups, won two of them.
Yeah,
It's and who did they just got Getzel's rights too?
they have
Did you see
Gensel's
that?
right. So like after trading Sergachev and then
Yeah.
Janot, they made some space to give him a good contract offer. So I think Gensel could definitely be there.
Yeah, I mean I mean them trading for him kind of it seems like the writing's on the wall Stamkos is definitely not re-signing it in Tampa if they're bringing in a guy like that.
So where's he going? Calgary would be sick, but I obviously don't see that.
Yeah, I mean
Maybe Toronto on a really friendly deal, like one year deal or something.
Toronto. Man, I mean, could they
Go play
afford
in the
him?
hometown.
Can they afford him though?
I mean, for him, like he's made so much money, like why not just go where you want to go and see what happens? I mean, he's
That's fair.
probably made over 100 mil.
Yeah, he's had to, hey.
Like if he wants more of like a long-term thing, like obviously try and go to like would he like Utah needs some guys, Seattle, like
Yeah,
who's even got space to sign Stammer to a 7 year deal kind of thing.
Calgary.
Calgary
Chicago?
is the team.
Chicago.
Oh yeah, Chicago has a lot of space.
Man,
Yeah,
imagine Chicago getting Stammer. I mean,
yeah,
they
that
probably
would be
want some young
unreal.
guys, but they definitely need some veteran guys for Bedsy too.
Yeah, they. I like their draft picks this year. They picked that tall Russian D man.
Yeah.
Is he Russian or
Belarusian, I think.
Belarusian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, but he seems sweet. Like I was um I have a buddy that's a really big Blackhawks fan, and he was saying that they were going. He was hearing different things whether they were going to go for that Russian right wing or the Russian winger that they were saying that could be the end up being the best pick of the draft or the best player in the draft in a few years.
Yeah,
But they ended
yeah.
up
He
going on
went
the
to
back end.
Montreal, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Demidov or whatever. Yeah, he looks like a really good prospect, but
I wonder how
you
many
never
years
know.
out, like if he's only going to have another year in the K or if they're going to try to keep him down there for another few years. It's always a crapshoot, I think, with those Russian guys. You never really know if when they're going to come.
Yeah, yeah. I heard in his contract that he has to play at least one more year with SKA, like St. Petersburg, and then he can come over after. So
Okay.
if he has a good year in the KHL, lights it up, I'm sure he'll be in Montreal the year after that.
What do you think about Beckett Sinek, his reaction for getting drafted third
Dude,
overall?
that was hilarious, man. Like that's like all time, just like the camera comes to you and he said he didn't have an interview with Anaheim the whole time. Like he had
He
no
didn't have an
idea. He
interview with
probably
him?
was like he didn't even talk with them like at the combine. He didn't talk to them like all week. So like obviously his reaction was just like, what the fuck? And he literally was just like looking at his parents like he probably like just sat down like he was probably late, like didn't think he was gonna go till like, the 10th pick or something and ends up going third overall.
So funny. All time reaction. Like seems like a great kid too. But
Yeah,
that's
seems like a beauty. Big
Anaheim just kind of
boy.
coming out of left field again.
Yeah, there was a lot of surprise picks actually, but I mean
Yeah.
that it seems like now like the first 2 to 3 picks are usually pretty set, and then after that it's just a complete gong show. And there's a lot of off the board picks. I think some guys that slipped, like was that Boehm or whatever, like he
Yeah.
slid a little bit,
Went to
which was
12.
surprising, but
Yeah, that's who I thought Calgary was going to end up taking because he's a world junior gold medalist. He was on Team USA, like good D man. And then he just kind of kept sliding. There was even like Demidov going fifth. I was shocked that Anaheim or Columbus didn't take him.
yeah, I think what's it, Columbus got that guy from Medicine Hat, right? He's a
Yeah,
big,
Lindstrom.
tall center. So they're gonna have Fantilli and Lindstrom. Like that's pretty good 1-2 punch for your future centers.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
both
for
like
sure.
6'4", like 6'5", like
Yeah, just massive
massive.
guys. There's a lot of big guys in this draft that were forwards too. Hey.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of size was taken this year, and like the guys are skilled now at being that size too. So it's the game's trending in a pretty good direction.
Yeah, and the Flames had a second pick in the first round too. Matt V. Gridden. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but top scorer in the USHL. Again, that's the second time they've drafted a top scorer in the USHL. With Coronado, I think was the top goal scorer his year, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Right.
like what do you think about those USHL kids coming getting drafted right out of the USHL? Like I feel like Calgary has a history of not giving these young kids, at least in recent years, that big of an opportunity. And like maybe that was Sutter, maybe that was the old GM. So hopefully these kids actually get a more of a shot now that Conroy and the new coach are kind of running things on the team. But what do you think? How many years out do you think he is? Because that's another thing too for me. These USHL guys, like they might be 3 4 years out, maybe not four, but probably three
Yeah.
a good shout for how many years out these kids could be before they're ready to be a full time NHLer. Like Coronado played around half the year, and then the other half he was lighting up the A. So I mean, it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, and I think I saw a stat or something that for draft picks or in their draft year, I guess, in the USHL, um, he actually had the most since Coronado. So it was
Oh
like
wow,
83 points in the season, and I think Coronado had 85. So they're obviously keeping a close eye on the USHL. There's a lot more guys getting drafted from there. And yeah, it'll probably be a similar path to Coronado. Like give him like a year or two in college, and then if he's ready, bring him on because Coronado looks good. He's going to be an NHL player for a long time.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that Calgary does have some young guys in the pipeline. We just need that. I mean, now that they're in full blown rebuild mode, who knows if they're going to end up bringing on some veteran guys, but um, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I'm not for someone who bitches about the Flames and chirps the Flames all the time as a Flames fan. I'm not mad at their first round picks, which is shocking. I'm sure people are gonna find.
Yeah, I think Conroy's going to do a good job. Like he's obviously trending it in a completely different direction. In the past, they weren't giving any chances to the young guys. Now it's like a complete clean slate. They used their draft picks well. They made a lot of good trades, picked up a lot of picks, and they're going skill. Like I think you have to go skill in this NHL, and you'll definitely be able to mix in some veteran guys, pick up some guys in free agency, and make some trades. But it'll be a couple years probably till they're a competitor, and you got the new rink coming in. Hopefully that gets done, and I say like just tank the next year or two, try and get some really high draft picks. But it seems like the Calgary ownership just never wants to do that. So, but
No,
they're
they
talking
always
about
fight.
like trading Kadri. They're talking about like trading all these guys. Like they're literally gonna have like no roster players left. So
Yeah,
free
it's gonna be.
agency is gonna be cool.
Yeah, it'll be all these like young kids on the team. Just, I mean, it's similar to maybe it'll be similar to Anaheim, San Jose, where they do end up giving these young kids a shot, and yeah, they'll struggle as a team for in terms of standings for the next 2, probably 3 years, depending on what they do. But there's definitely some talent in the pipeline. It's just getting those veteran players to round it out and see what happens.
Do you think Kadri is gonna get traded, or do you think he's staying?
I don't know, man. I've always liked Kadri, but in Calgary, it just seems like everyone that comes to Calgary is like from other teams after successful years. They just don't end up doing well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he kind of found success with Zari on
Yeah.
that second line, so hopefully that can keep going. But if they could bring in somebody like a more of a goal scorer to play with Kadri, I think that would help him a lot. But obviously you have Huberto, he needs some line mates, and
Yeah.
um, it's just they're gonna have to either blow it up or go hard in free agency.
Do you think that the Flames will give Coronado and Zari the full year next year?
I think so. Like I think Zari for sure. He proved that he's ready. For Coronado, like I still think the best thing for him is to play. So if he's not on your top two lines, send him down to the minors. Get some confidence and bring him up when he's feeling really good. Like that's what happened with Zari at the beginning of the year. Started in the minors, got some confidence playing with the Wranglers, and then when he got called up, he was still firing and just continued throughout. Like for Coronado, he started the season up. He wasn't playing much. His confidence was up and down. So it's just like when you don't have that confidence, it's tough to play as a young player.
Yeah, that's fair. Zari's definitely proved himself for sure. I liked him a lot too, especially coming out of the dub. Like I thought he was going to be an impact player,
Yeah, I think
mainly
he got a
good.
couple of votes for the Calder, so that was I think it was like seventh or eighth place vote or something. But he obviously came out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting that, and you weren't gonna take it from Bedard. Like he obviously had
No.
a sick year, but pretty good for Calgary to find him, kind of out of nowhere this year.
Yeah, I mean, mentioned the awards there. Bedsy, obviously, rookie of the year, Calder Trophy. I mean, it was pretty much, I think, predicted all year. Everyone, even before he stepped on the ice, they're like, he's probably going to win the Calder if he does even close to what he could do in juniors. But
Oh yeah.
awesome to see it for him. Obviously, he probably wanted a better year team wise, but um, I think he was obviously the best pick for the rookie of the year for sure.
Yeah, he's just like a must watch like every time he's playing. So it's
Yeah.
great. It's great for the league, and obviously like Brock Faber had a really good year in Minnesota. He probably could have easily won it too. Like for a defenseman to be playing all around and
Yeah.
putting up that many points, like you could definitely have given it to him. But you just can't ignore the fact that he scored that many goals at such a young age, and Bedard puts people in the seats. So I think. It'd be interesting to see the class next year. Like there's a couple guys obviously. We'll see if um the guys end up going back to college or playing in their first year, but I'm looking forward to see the class next year.
Do you know much about the young kids that are coming up next year?
Not a lot. I mean, I think it'll be cool to see with Michkov possibly playing
Hmm.
from the KHL going to Philadelphia. I think he'll have a good chance at the Rookie of the Year. I think he's been playing against men the last 3 or 4 years now, and um, kind of kind of was a didn't think that he was going to come this early, and now it's now he's here. So I'm looking forward to watch him play in Philly if that happens.
Cutter Gauthier too might be a name to watch next year if he ends up getting um the full year to play in Anaheim.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I think was it Will Smith too in San Jose.
Yeah.
He's committed to San Jose, I think. So
Yeah, he's nasty.
it'll be a good class.
And who knows if Celebrini ends up playing next year too? I'm sure San Jose will give him a go. Like how could you not? You're that the last place team in the league. That bad of a team. The
Yeah.
team's in pretty rough shape. I mean, you got to give him a shot.
Oh, for sure. I think there's no
Oh,
point in him going back to college. Like he is a little bit undersized, but I think that dynamic skill and the way he's got his head up and making plays, and he's definitely like your franchise player. So he's gonna have a good chance of winning the Calder as well.
and that's worth noting too. Is he did say that he hasn't decided if he wants to go pro yet or not. So I mean,
Yeah,
maybe he does end up going back to the NCAA for another year.
could happen. I mean, yeah, like San Jose made a lot of trades this year too. It seems like throughout the summer they're trying to add, they're trying to get a little bit better. So we'll see if they're a little bit more competitive this year, and see if Celebrini joins and Smith, and see how that all plays out.
Yeah, there's been a ton of trades, especially on the second day. I thought there would be more moves on the first day,
Yeah, there
but
was nothing the first day, right? Like it
no
was like a couple like picks traded here and
picks.
there. But the second day was like right off the hop, just started with a bang. Like Sergachev traded, and then Jeannot traded.
Yeah,
Couple
Allmark's
other
gone.
ones like,
Allmark happened
oh
before,
yeah,
but we didn't mention Allmark. He's man, that'll be that's a. I mean, Ottawa has a goalie now, so hopefully
yeah,
they'll
and then
that'll help them a little bit at least.
be nice to see them be competitive. And then I saw Tanev's rights got traded to the Leafs, so
Yeah,
that'll help the Leafs so they can sign him to a long-term deal. And the Canadian teams are going to be really good next year, I think. Like especially if Ottawa can be good, Toronto, um, Edmonton's obviously a powerhouse. Vancouver seems like was it Calgary is the only one that is trailing behind.
you look at Winnipeg. I mean, Hellbuck got the Vesna, Vancouver, Hughes got the Norris. So I mean, they all these other Canadian teams have these studs, and then there's Calgary who's still trying to figure their shit out.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to stay.
I thought what's his name from Vancouver got the Norris. He should have got a few more votes for MVP. Like he had what 90 some points as a defenseman, like led his team by quite a quite a wide margin.
Yeah,
And it was just, the only votes were really going to, McDavid and McKinnon and Cooch. I felt like some D-men should have got more looks there.
yeah. I see what you're saying for sure. Like if anyone, I think Hughes would have been the D man that would have been in the running.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was hard to compete with Nate, McDavid, and Cooch this year. Like those guys were just on another planet,
Yeah, McKinnon was unbelievable.
and like good for
But
him
it was
for
definitely a three horse race, and Obviously, I think he McKinnon deserved it.
Yeah.
For how good he's been the last, 5 to 10 years, he was due to get one.
Yeah, and he got the Ted Lindsay too. So I mean,
Yeah.
he uh he got his flowers this year for sure, I think.
Oh
At
yeah.
least in
I
terms of
think it
awards. I know
was.
he wants another cup, but in terms of individual accolades, which I know it doesn't mean much to him, but in the future it will, and it's nice to see him appreciated and honored.
Yeah. Now he's just got to win an Olympic gold. I think that's the next one.
Our sponsor for this episode is Overtime Markets, the top Web3 sportsbook. Overtime is an industry leading sports betting platform where users can immerse themselves in the thrilling world of sports. Leveraging the benefits of decentralization and blockchain technology, Overtime leads the charge in sports innovation, all while offering fans juicy money rewards on major sporting events. Overtime supports all the major leagues and utilizes advanced smart contracts to ensure an elevated user experience. Discover the future of sports betting at overtimemarkets.xyz, where sports and blockchain converge. Yeah, what do you think about the Four Nations first few players getting announced?
I thought it was pretty cool the way they did that. Obviously, it was like the obvious names, but like Marchand was a pretty interesting one. But you're gonna have McCarr and McDavid and McKinnon, so Crosby. So I'm looking forward to watch that tournament.
Do you think Bedard will get the nod for Team Canada?
I'd like to see it. I mean, you see how he played the first few games at the World Championships a year. He was pretty dominant, and then the coach kind of buried him on the bench in 13th forward, which was kind of an interesting move. But
Yeah.
um, he's obviously still young, and Olympics is still 2 years away. So I say why not just put him out there for the Four Nations and see what I can do. See what he can handle the pressure and set him up for Italy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think with the Olympics still being 2 years away, by then he'll be pretty dominant and well versed in the league, comfortable. He won't be still be the young guy, obviously, but he won't be the rookie anymore. He'll probably have a little bit more respect in terms of seniority or just being around the league for a few more years. So you got to think even at this point after his rookie year that he's got to be a lock for the Olympics.
Yeah, I think so. But I think John Cooper is going to be the coach for that Four Nations. I'm not sure if he's committed to be the coach for the Olympics. I'm sure he'll have a good shot at that. But yeah, Canada's going to be a good team. I don't know who their goalie is going to be yet. They kind of
Yeah.
had Binnington there as a World Championship goalie and was like kind of seeing how he didn't have a great performance. So obviously Carter Hart's going through some things. So Canadian goalies are really on the fence right now. We need somebody to jump out and take the job.
Yeah, we really don't have anybody from Canada in terms of goaltenders that's really been a stud in the last few years. Like besides
No,
Binner, but like Binner is hit or miss. He's kind of a snap show. Like
yeah,
you never.
he's a wild card,
Yeah,
but
for sure, for sure.
he's a good goalie either way. Obviously Stanley Cup champ, and
Yeah,
I think if it comes down to it, he could get the job done. But he's not like Carey Price, guys like that back in the day. Broder, Patrick Waugh, like
yeah.
those were some really really good goalies back in the day.
Man, that's because the goaltending could, especially when it's best on best and there's like those four teams. Like those four teams are gonna have a lot of good guys. So your goaltending is gonna need to be top notch. I mean, obviously your skaters are going to be top notch too, but to keep the puck out of the net from the other team skaters that are some of these guys, like you get Cooch out there, or I guess Kucherov's not playing.
He'll be on the Russian team if
Yeah,
they're
he's a
in it,
Russian guy.
but
Sorry, I was thinking of Barkov, not Kucherov. Barkov will
yeah,
be out
Barkov's
there.
in Finland, so
Yeah,
Finland will have a good team. It looks like they already named Aho, I think, and Saros is their goalie. So
the reason I accidentally mentioned Kucherov is because I also wanted to touch on the fact that what do you think about these Russian guys not getting the chance at Four Nations? Like obviously with what's going on in Ukraine and stuff still, but I mean some of these guys like Ovi, he might not get to play in another best on best tournament. Like, who knows where he'll be when the Olympics come? Kuznetsov, Kucherov, these Russian guys that are you know, coming out of their prime, or Kucherov, who's in his prime, you'd want to see them playing with the best players and against the best players. You know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it sucks for them. Like
Yeah,
obviously it's they're just athletes, right? Like they're not the reason that that Putin's at war right now. So
yeah,
I think they should just let him play. I think when you're mixing all that stuff in, obviously the double IHF like makes the call in the end. So they probably won't be playing if the war's still ongoing. And it sucks because you want to see all the best teams, and obviously Russia is one of those teams. It's always fun to watch the Canada Russia games. Um, it just adds another rivalry that it's really been missing the last few years, especially in the World Juniors, World Championships.
yeah.
This four nations, and but other countries are coming along, and you see the Czech Republic won the World Cup or the World Championship this year. So I guess it just helps those teams, those countries that are getting better and better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for the Olympics. I don't know if they've already rolled out Russia or what they did a few years ago with like athletes from Russia not fully
Right.
representing like the flag and stuff. But hopefully those guys get another shot to play best on best before they retire. But what you're saying about Czechia, like those guys are coming, getting stronger in all aspects of the game, men's and women's. Like their women's teams are building, especially I think it was their U18 team this year.
Yeah.
Like they were unbelievable, some of those girls. So their talent as those girls get older, like they're probably going to be on the national team. Their national team's going to be really good in a few years, and then they're on their men's side, like they just continue to get better as well.
Yeah, all those countries, like the smaller, like you had the obvious ones like Canada, Finland, Sweden, but the other ones they're really coming on. Like I think Switzerland's looking unbelievable in the last couple of World Championships. Germany even has won silver in the World Championships and also the Olympics a few years ago. So Czechia, it'll be a pretty awesome tournament come the Olympics.
Regardless of what happens, it'll be cool just to see NHL players back in the Olympics too.
Yeah, no, for
Like
sure.
those
And it's so exciting to see the four nations because we just haven't seen the best on best and these guys playing with each other since basically was it the World Cup like
yeah.
7, 8 years ago, something like that. So
Yeah, I do wish it was more than just the four teams, but definitely not complaining that we get to see a little bit of it before the Olympics. So it'll be nice to see at least Canada, USA, Sweden, Finland, both
yeah,
four.
honestly, US might be the favorite. Like I think the
Man,
way that their goalies are, and you got Matthews and Tchucks, and it'll be pretty sweet seeing them play too.
the other Hughes brothers too. Like you got to think they're going to
All
be
all
getting looked
three Hughes
at.
brothers will probably be on the team. Like they're all nasty.
All three Hughes brothers, both Kachucks. Like it'll just be a family affair over there in Team USA.
Yeah, that's sweet.
What about the jerseys? What do you think of the first look at these new jerseys? I know that I've been trashing them since Fanatics got announced as for whenever they got announced, a year ago, 2 years ago now. Since Fanatics got announced as the new branding for the NHL on ice jerseys, just I always based it off their replicas. I was like, man, their replica jerseys are trash. The MLB jerseys, the players have not stopped complaining about them. Like there's so much negativity around them or surrounding them. The actual designs, I think, when the team started announcing, were pretty nice. Like the Kings' new jerseys, their new branding, their new look is unbelievable. The Ducks, I love the logo. I've been shitting on the Ducks too because I just want them to go back to purple and teal. Like if you're bringing back the Mighty Ducks, just go back fully. Just make that leap.
Oh,
Just
I
go
know.
back.
They
Um,
just went bright orange, eh? Like that's
yeah,
orange pants, like bright orange.
and like I love the logo. I love the Mighty Duck. It's probably my favorite logo in the NHL. I like their numbering, their lettering on for the name bars, but I just wish it was purple and teal instead of orange and
Yeah,
black.
that'd
But
be cool to bring that back.
for sure. But in terms of like the quality of the jerseys, I was briefly talking to Zach Bell because he was out there with Chippy and a bunch of the other hockey influencers at the draft and stuff. And I was like, what are your honest thoughts of the quality? And he said they're really good, and he was impressed by them. So I mean, I'm gonna
Really?
stop. I'm gonna stop trashing them until I actually have one in my hands and can feel the quality and see what they actually feel like and look like in person. But yeah, he said that he liked them better than the Adidas jerseys, and I was like, that's a stretch because I loved the Adidas jersey.
Which one you gonna get? Are you gonna go with the old school LA Kings? It's pretty much the same logo that they used like years ago, but they just
Yeah,
kind of rebranded it a touch.
a little sparkly, a little
Yeah,
shinier.
a little shinier. Yeah, I think I don't know what the Flames did with theirs, but
They're the same.
I think like I kind of want to get a um, Carolina jersey, kind of see how the new ones are,
Yeah.
see the Fanatics brand.
Do you still have some of your game jerseys from when you got drafted by them and played for them?
Yeah, I pretty much have all of them. Every year they would always give us at least one to take home that was
Oh,
game
sweet.
worn, and I the only one I'm missing is my Nashville Predators one. So
Oh,
I was so pumped. Like I was talking to one of the media people for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they randomly found my jersey like in a back room, and they sent me my Pittsburgh Penguins like number 17,
no
and
way.
so I got that like 5 or 6 years later, and I thought it was like I thought I was never getting that because I got traded or put on waivers, and it's just like obviously Nashville, if it's who knows where that jersey is, but pretty cool to get my Pittsburgh one and all my Carolina ones, and now every year we get an Eisbären jersey too. Um, Championship jerseys are always good ones to keep.
That's unreal, man. Are you gonna eventually like put them up in a den, or like are you gonna have some sort
Oh
of
yeah,
room for all your memorabilia and stuff that you've collected throughout your career?
yeah, for sure. Like deck out the man cave, get all the
Sick.
rings up there and jerseys, put them in frames, and maybe the odd stick. I still have my stick from my first NHL goal, so
Oh
probably
wow.
probably frame that one, and then yeah, a couple gloves. Like I have gloves from the KHL All Star game that are yellow. That are kind of cool. So
Sick.
a lot of different like memories over the years that I'll have to deck out the house when I have that.
That's cool, man. I love that stuff. Like just keepsakes and stuff, especially like as being an athlete who played, like all those memories and having that experience of playing all over. That's really cool that you were able to keep a lot of those. You ended up getting your first goal puck back too, didn't you? Recently, in the last few years.
Yeah, I got that probably 6 or 7 years ago. I
Okay, sick.
drove all the way back from Carolina and brought it back with me. So that's a keepsake for sure. And they already framed it for me and put a nice picture on it, me
Oh, they
celebrating.
did.
So
Oh,
so
sick.
I have that all framed up. So
Here, I thought
yeah,
you just had just the puck. I was like, frame it with the stick, but if it's already framed, that's pretty sick.
I'll just have to put the stick like next to it somehow, and then obviously the jersey's in a frame too. So
That's sick. I'm gonna keep bugging you for one of those Berlin jerseys to come back with you for sure.
yeah, I get so many people asking me now. Like I basically just got to bring home like 20 jerseys and just start handing them out.
I'll pay for mine.
Oh yeah, I know it's all good. Like the jerseys are pretty cool over there. They pretty much rebrand them like every single year, so it's always
Oh,
a different
sweet.
jersey, and they do a really good job like putting like the city in it and like
Cool.
different like maps. Like obviously you still have all the ads all over the jerseys, but
Yeah.
uh, they've had some really clean ones the last couple of years.
The Champions League ones seem to have less ads on them. They're a little bit cleaner, a little bit
Yeah.
like a little bit like they're pretty slick.
Yeah, no, those jerseys look a lot better, especially if you're the top scorer on the team. You get to wear like a special jersey too. So
Oh, really?
it'd be nice if I could get one of those.
What are they like black and gold or something or is it a
It's
completely different jersey or like a patch?
I think it's just like I think in Switzerland they do like a jersey as well, but it's like got fire all over it. I can't remember if
Oh.
the Champions League is the same with the fire and stuff, but like you can tell like and it doesn't have your name on the back either. So like the top scorer is just like running around. You don't like if you don't play against those teams all the time. You have no idea who the guy is, but he's wearing the cool jersey, and people are like think it's cool. But
Why don't they have the name on the back of the jersey?
I don't know because it switches like randomly like every game. Like the first game of the tournament, I think the captain gets it or something
Oh, it's
like
the top
that, and
scorer in the
then
tournament, or for the team in the tournament.
for your team, yeah. So like
Gotcha.
one game there could be, Marcel Nobles could have 4 points, and then the next game, Leo Fertile could have 2 and 2 and have a point the next game. So he'll be wearing the jersey the next game. So it like constantly switches, and you wouldn't want to like keep changing the numbers and the name bars. So you just get
That's
like the
unreal.
jersey, and it changes like game to game.
You know who you're aiming the hits on for those games, hey? Just
Yeah,
go for the guy with
exactly.
the flames on his jersey.
Puts a bit of a target on your back, but no, it's cool when you get to wear it.
That'd be sick. If you get to wear it for even like a game, do you get to keep a replica, or do you get to keep one of them, take them home, or
No, I've
no?
never kept
Damn.
my Champions League jersey, so it'd
Oh,
be cool
really?
if we could somehow get one somehow.
Just snag
They'd
it.
probably like auction it off, or they'd probably do something with it. I'm not sure who gets to keep them, but um, I'll find a way to get one of these years.
Just slip it in your bag. So I don't know where
Yeah.
it went. I threw it in the threw it in the laundry.
Where'd that top scorer jersey? I don't know where it went.
Even just for like one of the Champions League ones, it'd be sick too. Just sneak out with that. So yeah, I put it in
Yeah.
laundry. Don't know where it went. I can't believe you
Well,
guys
yeah, like
lost my jersey.
it's so cool, like in soccer and like some of the other sports where they like trade jerseys like after the games and stuff, like
Yeah,
collect jerseys from like all the top players. Like if you're playing against like Yager's team in the Champions League, like you try and get his jersey somehow, but um, maybe that culture just hasn't quite factored over into hockey yet. But they do it in the NFL, like soccer, like a lot
NBA
of
too.
leagues.
Even
I
like
think, yeah,
college
you're right.
basketball. Even college basketball, I see you got kids doing it. You guys do
Yeah.
sticks though, hey? Like you're more. It's more sticks in hockey.
Yeah, like a lot of guys, like when we were in the KHL, we're trying to get like Kovalchuk sticks and Datsuk sticks and stuff like that. I think it happens a lot in the NHL too,
Yeah,
but I've never been a collector for that. But that'd be a cool thing if you're a big time NHLer. I think like Eberle has like hundreds of all his like favorite players that he's played against and
that's
isn't
sick.
afraid to ask for a stick. So that's pretty cool.
That'd be sweet to jersey swap with Yager.
Oh yeah, that'd
Like,
be unbelievable. Still playing at 50 years old, just
yeah.
all time.
Did his team make Champions League?
No, I think their team was
Damn.
like close to relegation in the Czech league, so they're
Oh
like one
yeah,
of the
that's
worst
right.
teams. But they stayed up. I think they won their 7 game series, and they're still in the top league at least.
Yeah, they were close to relegation. This guy was partying for half the season in Pittsburgh for his retirement.
Yeah. I think he only played like 5 games this year, but he played a few of the games for the relegation and got some points, so he kept the boys up in the top league.
That's funny. Got to do what you got to do. I mean, he owns the team too, so I mean, he can do whatever he
Yeah,
wants. He's like, yeah, I'll come down,
yeah,
make sure we don't go down.
they keep saying that he's going to get like a decent role in for the Pittsburgh Penguins too. So and
Oh,
they
really?
they just made a big trade too. So like they got that Kevin Hayes. Like there's been so much
Yeah.
action the last couple days, and but yeah, they said Yager was probably going to be like I don't know if it's like assistant GM or like a help with development or whatever. Like I don't know how he's going to own his team in the Czech, play for his team in the Czech, and then still like have a role with Pittsburgh. But
Yeah.
that's the rumor, anyways.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to quit, which like is admirable. If you can still play at that age, you may as well keep playing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I wonder how much
Uh,
money he's making down there though. He's probably got enough where it doesn't even matter to him.
yeah, I think he does pretty well with endorsements and stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't know like how much his team would make. Like I think a lot of the teams over there kind of like break even after sponsorships and fans and everything, but he's probably doing okay.
It'd be cool to see him back in the NHL in any capacity, even if it was like a front office role.
Yeah,
Man, him and Lemieux running the team togetger.
yeah,
That'd be pretty sick.
seriously.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that happened last week? You want to go over any more of the awards, any of the drafts, or what are you thinking?
I think that was good. Solid hour.
Yeah.
Obviously, free agency's coming up, so
Yeah.
next week will be a pretty jam-packed episode, I'm sure. So,
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna
uh,
have a guest on next week. We've been talking to Commodore, see if we'll get him on.
huge beauty. He'd
Yeah.
probably have some insider info for us too. So,
Yeah, I saw him.
um,
He had a welcome video for one of the Flames draft picks too, which was kind of cool.
oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it randomly on, I think, was it the NHL page or the Flames page? But yeah, it was just like a selfie video he took real quick. I forget what player it was for. I think it was one of the later picks. But yeah, I
Hmm.
saw the Flames just tapping like random alumni from, like, I saw they had Lanny giving out messages. They had a couple other guys, and I saw Kami too. It was, which
Oh,
probably
that's
pretty cool
sweet.
for those young kids coming up. One more thing, like, who was it? I think it was a couple of the Flames picks. They were hometown boys, like their
Yeah.
second round pick, but they were showing pictures of some of these guys with, like, one was with Monahan like years ago when he was just like a kid. It must have been one of
Oh,
Monty's
no
first
way.
years in the league. Another one was the new pick with Backlund like years ago. These guys are just like kids, like before even before junior,
Yeah.
before like midget, before bantam. Like it's pretty cool to see these guys that went from taking pictures with guys who, well, Backlund's still on the team,
Yeah.
but guys that they looked up to on the team and now being drafted by that team.
Yeah, that's got to be a dream come true for, guys like Basha who, put in all that work and has been, Calgary kid, probably a Flames fan growing up, got to watch Gaudreau and Monahan and all these guys, and now you have a pretty good chance at playing for your hometown team. It's pretty sweet.
You train
No,
with
I think
Basha too,
like
don't you?
yeah, skate with him. Haven't been working out a ton with him yet. He's like doing a lot of rehab, and he's in the other group. But I think he's skating with us all the time. He's one of the most skilled guys out there. Just dangles everybody. So Calgary's gonna be happy with that pick. But yeah, I'm looking forward to free agency. I got some inside info. I think possibly Zadorov might be going to Carolina, so that's one to
Oh
look out for free agency. Obviously, he's not going back to Vancouver and won't be coming back to Calgary either.
man, Zadorov in Carolina, that could be good. That could be good for him.
Yeah, yeah, big boy. I think if Roddy Brind'Amour can reel him in, I think he'd be a pretty good asset for them.
I was kind of surprised that he wasn't going back to Vancouver. Was it just cap space? Like they couldn't afford to re-sign him, or
It
they just?
sounded like it was more like just like a short-term deal they wanted
Oh,
to
okay.
offer, and he wanted something more long-term. So Carolina's probably willing to do that. They're always looking for good free agents, and there's obviously room now that Gensel's not going back, and be interesting to see who Carolina looks to sign.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow, July 1st, we'll get this episode up tonight or maybe even in the morning tomorrow. But yeah, the next episode, hopefully with a guest. But regardless of whether there's a guest or not, though, I'm sure there's going to be some big free agency news that we'll have to talk about. So it'll be good, man.
Yeah,
That's the episode for this week. I think it's a good one. Lots happened, so we had lots to talk about, which was great. Yeah, anything else to touch up on there, Zach?
no, that's it.
Cool. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again next week.